We saw how economic dependency came to being in the beginning. How is it possible that a farmer would sell cocoa at a very low price and then upon going through few processes, someone sells for 2 times the initial price? That is the real problem. That is why the real countries always stay rich. This is economic dependency in action.
The rich make expensive products and sell them back. The poor lose value. The rich gain power.
Critics say the theory doesn't explain why some poor countries became rich, like the Singapore and South Korea. But not everyone believes in this theory. They argue that good policy, not dependency, is what really makes the difference. But still, for many others, the cycle continues.
We all watched the video. It's not just bad luck. It's called dependency theory. Let's talk about dependency theory and why it matters to our country.
So dependency theory argues that poor countries are trapped in a system whereby they rely on richer countries for technology, trade, and finance. This theory was propounded in the 1960s and 70s, and it shows the relationship between the poor country and the rich country. This means that the poor country continues to be poor.
We also argue that the world is divided into a core, rich, powerful nation and a periphery, poor nation that supply raw material and cheap labor.
Dependency isn't poor.
It is just modernized.
Africa, let's build our own future.
We need self-reliance.
Trade must be fair.
Dependency ends with us.
In today's video, we are unpacking dependency theory, a perspective that argues that global economic system isn't a level playing field. Instead, it argues that wealthier nations thrive by keeping poorer countries dependent on them. The state-developed nations often dominate global trade and financial systems, while poorer countries provide raw materials and cheap labor. Dependency theory also explains that this imbalance prevents developing countries from achieving economic growth. Sociologist Andre Gondefrank is one of the key voices behind dependency theory. In his words, underdevelopment is not a condition, it's a process. He believes that poor countries are not just lagging behind, they've been actively pushed behind. But not everyone agrees. An economist, Walt Rostow, a proponent of modernization theory, argues that underdevelopment is due to internal factors such as lack of schools, infrastructure, and investment. He also claims that all countries can follow the path of development if they adopt the right strategies. The root of dependency theory traces back to colonialism. For centuries, empires extracted wealth from colonies, leaving them with undeveloped economies. And after independence, many countries remain locked in the cycle of dependence. Let's take Latin America for example. During the 20th century, countries like Brazil and Mexico relied heavily on exploiting raw materials. As a result, they became vulnerable to price fluctuations and remained dependent on foreign markets. Samir Amin, another dependency theorist, famously said, "Autonomy from the global system is the only way to achieve genuine development." Now here's the big question. Is dependency theory still relevant today? Why do poor countries stay poor? Dependency theory offers a compelling lens showing how global inequalities are deeply rooted in history and economics. It also sparks debate. Is the system truly rigged, or nations can break free? So, what's your take on dependency theory? Do you think it's time for a new approach, or does it still hold water?